Alright, I guess you could call this somewhat of a news update in reference to one of my hiking areas. Now, what am I showing you here? What I did was, I'm going to make this video very fast, but I want you to pay close attention to what I'm doing. You see this Y-shaped branch here? And I don't know what material, what it is. I haven't had the freedom in my schedule to research what kind of trees and stuff are in this part of California. It's very solid though, very solid. Okay, it's dead, but it's solid as hell. Excuse the language. Anyways, what I did was, I took this pretty good saw that I bought from Walmart. Okay, one of many that I got, and I went over there, and I thought I was actually, to be totally honest with you, I thought I was sawing off the top of a dead tree, and that the top just hadn't completely died yet. And it turned out what I was cutting off were branches of a live tree that the dead tree had fell on, so I'm not happy about that. To make a long story short, what I ended up doing was I cut off some branches from a tree, and the tree will heal itself. I mean, it was just a couple branches, but I cut off it was a branch that held a lot of branches, but it'll heal itself, and I set up a small prayer concerning it. But anyways, what I did was I cut off some branches, and I see, here's my tent over here. I have a Ozark tent, I think it's a 9x7, and what I did was I bought an Ozark tent, 9x7, and then I purchased a brown tarp that was put on top of it, and there's a bunch of stuff underneath the tent for cushion and for to keep the cold from the ground, causing me to be more cold inside the tent. But what I'm trying to say is this, is that the talking you hear in the background is a radio program I'm taping right now that's inside the tent. But anyways, so I got a 9x7 tent, and then I got brown tarp on top of it, and then what I did was I liquid pasted some black weatherization sheets on the tarp of that. And the reason why I decided to use black was because black is not the best camouflage to use, but it's great for night. And it also works well with shadows. Okay. Now, so what I did was I used liquid electrical tape and some produce ties, and tied these sections of the weatherization sheet together to cover the front, back, all sides, top, and so on and so forth. And that enables me to use a flashlight inside there at night, okay, without nobody out here seeing it that's going by on the sidewalk. I'm about 130 feet off a sidewalk that's off a hill, okay. And this is what I put up in front of the tent. This was actual dead branches, okay, that got leaves on them that did come from the actual dead tree. The only thing is, though, is I gotta kind of moderate this a little bit, modify it, because some of the branches settled, and so now you can see just like the little bit of the top of the tent. The reason why I'm showing you this is because if you're homeless, or if you decided to maybe go camping in the wilderness for a year, or even just for a few weeks, or maybe possibly tweak your survival skills, which is not a bad thing for anybody to do of any age, as long as they're educated about what to do and what not to do. Basically, what I'm doing is, this is it's not really stealth camping, but I try to make sure that my hiking area is as camouflaged as possible from the outside world. I always make sure that I take my garbage with me on a daily basis. Now, for environmental sake, and for the simple fact that I'm not a litterer, you know, I don't litter. The point I'm trying to make is that what you can do is that you can find in your immediate location, preferably a dead tree or a dead bush, and what you want to do is you want to cut off the dead branches, especially ones that hold leaves. I'm talking about the kind of bushes that will still hold the leaves on them even after they're dead, okay? And you prop them up, you kind of create a web, okay, of a bunch of different branches going in a bunch of different directions, and then you put the dead branches from the tree, okay, on those dried up dead branches that you originally put there first. And that is used to hold the ones that will actually act as your camouflage, which is the one with the leaves. Then what you want to do is you want to try and find a this is my first survival video. Then what you want to try and do is find a fork. They call them forks or Ys, whatever, branches. Preferably the hardest type of wood that you can find, in order to be able to use those to hold up in place what's on the web of dead branches, okay? Can't really see them because of the way my shadow's interfering with it, and the light right now is shining really. But that's a Y branch, and what that's doing is that section of the Y is going that way, that section of the Y is going this way. They're kind of like fork branches, and they hold in place as a result of the stem of it being in the ground, placed in the ground by the person, and then it holds up securely the dead branches that you put up against the web of other dead branches that can or cannot have the leaves. The leaves are the camouflage. But if you put up enough of dead branches up, okay, you can even use dead branches as a camouflage. Case in point, let me take you over here. Do you see all these kinds of different, I don't know what kind of brush you call this, but there's so much of it you can't see the ground. Now all this is dead right here, but you still can't see the ground. So what I'm trying to say is that if you make it dense enough, you don't even need a branch or a bush that's got leaves. You can just use the amounts of density of the actual dead leaf foliage to assist you in keeping a bird's eye view of anybody that might just be going for their daily ride. Sometimes you have the curiosity kill the cat people, and then you might have criminals or lowlifes. I don't make the best of videos sometimes. Anyway, so as you can see right now, you cannot see my tent at all. Okay, and the only open spot from the sidewalk is that, because of all the other foliage that is also around here that prevents it being my actual hiking area being seen from other angles, from other vantage points. So this right here is the only really open one. Okay, and then there's a little one over there that's wide open. Okay, so what I did was I did what I've already stated. Always make sure that you use fork branches. You know, like that type of branches that I can make a heck of a slingshot out of this. But you want to use fork branches in order to prop up, okay, the bushes and the brush and everything, the dead branches and everything that you used. You prop it up really good. You put it in here at the bottom in a secure enough fashion, and then if you can find a branch that's strong enough and bends, you can bring that around to keep everything in place. And you can also use other dead branches that got forks on the end of them that you can prop up in the ground, bring them up, and then have them hold on to a section of the branches that you cut off and placed up that the fork is also holding. Case in point, this one stick right here is very long, as you can see, but at the end of it, it's got a miniature fork. Now you place that fork around a branch of one of the branches that you cut off. This is using as an additional prompt, you know, to prop it up in place. Okay. And that way, in case of when the raccoons come out at night and they go running after a bunny rabbit or a possum or whatever, they have run through this, okay, and have displaced how I have some of these dead branches anchored. So on occasion I got to go back and re-prop it up. Also, there's some other little lowlifes in the neighborhood who I think are messing with some of my stuff as well, just for spite's sake, you know, to spite me, because that's another story. But anyway, so this is just my way of showing that this is here in case they come down here and try to take it away and maybe use it for their hiking area, or just knock it down. So I'll have to redo the work, because the individuals that I'm talking about, they're punks. Okay, punks and lowlifes. And I really don't even like using those terms, because I try to practice my Christian faith in all things, so it's mostly anger that's talking. Anyways, so what I'm trying to say is that this is just an idea that can be used for any survivalist video that might want to this actual thing that I'm showing you right now is actually kind of a thing that is used in building lean-tos and A-frame shelters. Lean-to shelters and A-frame shelters, except this doesn't really have a rib or a skeleton. Okay, this has just got a bunch of stuff that's been built up on top of each other and then propped it up and secured so it can be framed and held in position. This is the reason why I'm making this video is for evidence purposes, to show it's here in case they come down here and try to screw with it again. Okay? Alright, today's date is June 14th, 2014, and my name is Leslie Williams. I live in La Jolla, California, San Diego, and I do appreciate you listening.